Hi friends, in this episode is dedicated to abandoned Nissan cars. In this episode you will see such abandoned legends as Nissan GTR, Skyline, 350Z, 370Z and more. It is believed that the Nissan brand was born in 1934, although its history began much earlier. In 1912, a small automobile company, Kwaixinxia Motor Car, operated in Tokyo, employing three ambitious young professionals: Kenjiro Den, Rokuro Aoyama, and Aketaro Takeuchi. In 1914, they built a successful model of the car, which, after the first letters of their names, were named DAT. The cars proved to be popular and were produced for 2 years. And there were also two new models, 31 and 41. In 1916, Kwaixinxia merged with Leela and production moved from Tokyo to Osaka. But at the beginning only trucks were built there, and the production of passenger cars was resumed in 1931. The company was already called DAT Jidosya Seizo. It was decided to name the first passenger model Datsun, which meant son of Dat, but from Japanese the word son was translated as doom, and the brand was renamed to Datsun. This name was reminding of Japan, the land of the rising sun. However, the financial condition of the company were far from perfect, and it is not known what would have happened to it without the entrepreneur Yoshisuke Aikawa. Founding father. Aikawa became the de facto founder of the Nissan Motor Company. He graduated from Tokyo Imperial University in 1905, then studied American principles of management and production. In 1910, he founded Tobata Imono Company, the company's largest ferrous metallurgy enterprise. Soon, the entrepreneur entered into a number of deals with General Motors, Ford Motors, Austin and Morris, who were supplying cars to Japan. And having made sure of the possibility of the sale in the Japan market, in the early 30s he decided to build the cars himself. After analyzing the situation, he realized that the Datsun produced by DAT Jidosya Seizo had the greatest chance of success. The businessman met with its creators and offered financial assistance. In December 1933, the companies merged, and a new company, Nissan Motor Company, was registered. Having established the production of small cars Datsun, Aikawa hoped that Nissan would become one of the suppliers of cars for the Japanese army. For the development of the production in the United States, modern equipment was purchased, and in 1937 the production of more powerful cars began. 2 years later, Aikawa tried to enlarge the business. Nissan was planned to be merged with the Japanese subsidiary of General Motors, but the military department did not agree to the deal. Instead, they offered to build factories on the territory of the Japanese dependent state of Manchukuo, located in China. Factories were built and started to produce army vehicles and other military equipment. During this period, Nissan and its main competitor Toyota owned about 80% of the Japanese car market, with Nissan holding the first place, mainly trucks and buses. In 1941, the company produced 19.7 thousand cars, while Toyota produced 14.6 thousand cars. At the same time, both of them produced many traditional Japanese light three-wheel vehicles and motorcycles. It soon became clear that the Japanese military command overestimated the number of the vehicles needed for the army. During the war, on the mainland, no more than 20,000 trucks were used. Even less, about 3,000 only, were required in the island field of operations. Because of this, by 1941, Nissan had to reorient a significant part of its production to the production of tractors, bulldozers, and excavators. But after the massive bombing of Japan by the Americans, most of the Nissan factories were destroyed. Second birth. In September 1945, General Douglas MacArthur, the main commander of the American forces in occupied Japan, allowed the Japanese to produce at the remaining capacities the trucks needed to restore the economy. But the total volume of production was not supposed to exceed 1.5 thousand cars per month. This decision gave Japanese car companies a new lease of life. In 1946, the leaders of Nissan and Toyota approached MacArthur with a request for the production of passengers' cars, and in the summer of the following year, such permission was obtained. The restrictions on auto production were cancelled only in 1949, and from that moment, Nissan began to gain power. The outbreak of the war in Korea also helped. The US Army needed cars, so Nissan received orders for the car production. And although the amount of supplies was small, this stimulated further growth in the auto production in the country. In 1951, the Japanese delivered about 17,000 trucks to the Americans, a significant proportion of which were built at Nissan factories. The demand for cars inside the country remained low, which made it necessary to look for ways to enter foreign markets. Both pickup trucks and passenger cars began to be sent abroad. In just 10 years, from 1950 to 1960, the amount of production of passenger cars at Nissan plants increased from 0.9 thousand to 55,000 units, more than 55 times. In total, in 1960, Japan produced 128,000 passenger cars. The following year, the country ranked 7th in the world for the production of passenger cars, and Nissan ranked first among Japanese manufacturers that exported their products to the USA market. The Datsun were particularly popular with the Americans. The reason for their popularity was determined by the American magazine Consumer Reports in the August issue of 1965. It wrote, "There is no doubt which car is closest to American models. This is the Datsun, which has a similar arrangement of main components, relatively low noise, good ride, and full set of additional equipment, and such a level of quality, where many American-made cars are simply ashamed for that."